privilege to be here with you all. I can't even begin to express. I feel the emotion that I felt in this entire process is gratitude. And listening to Lisa and really hearing her heart shine through. I want you all to really identify the fact that now is your time to step in your power. That now is your time to take that uncomfortable action, because you have something so powerful and so big. And I appreciate Dean so much in trusting me to be a part of this vision with him and Tony to serve all of you, because like he said, I was right where you were, knowing that I had a bigger purpose, knowing that I had to take uncomfortable action, knowing that by doing so, I could impact at least one person's life. And I'm standing in front of you today, honored, knowing that I've served thousands of lives all over the world because of my commitment and my conviction, because of my ability to persevere, just like each and every one of you. Raise your hand if you know this about yourself, that you are someone that thrives in chaos, right? That you will persevere every single time. But let me tell you something. Entrepreneurship is a different kind of chaos. It is the successful, positive movement forward. And it's going to feel chaotic from time to time, but because of your commitment, because of your ability to not give up, it will compound for you. And your ability to commit to the compound effect is what will create the success and the progress in your life as you are building and leading that legacy. Additional growth. What is your legacy going to be? When you choose to step in your power, there is no going back. There will be times that you're feeling, oh, can I do this? Absolutely. I'm telling you from experience, you will do this time and time and time again. And today, I want you to step in your power, because this is where you're going to commit to doing the uncomfortable. Because you've built this beautiful offer. You know you have something to serve. You know that you can help people, and you've probably been told multiple times that you should be helping people for a living. Can I get a yes on that? Oh yeah, look at all those hands go up. That's why you're here, because you are meant to help people for a living. Know that people is by us showing up in the online space. The only way people can hear us and see us and connect with us is by our ability to show up in the content. So I want to share with you all today some of my favorite things about content. If you've seen some of my series before at mastermind.com, you know that I am incredibly passionate about social media. Why? Because I want to demystify this for you. I want to take away any fear, because listen. You can have a very public presence and a very private life. And you can share your transparency without losing yourself to vulnerability, knowing that you're still showing up with your heart. And I want to teach you the 4 C's of content so that you can find and attract your ideal clients in the online space. No matter which platform you choose, these concepts are going to be able to be used, and I want them to be used in your authentic voice, because this is how you're going to communicate with your audience. You're going to use those pain and pleasure points. You're going to use these pieces that you know you can speak to. You allow your ideal client to find you when you step into your authenticity, because it allows them the space to step into their authenticity and know that they are safe, because you are leading that way when you step through the door and say, I'll hold the door open for you, right? It's important that we have a wide range of content so we can create the optimal engagement and further convert our audience. It's not just about collecting followers and friends online. It's about driving a purpose. It's about connectivity. It's about the human connection. And we have to start looking at content from the sense of the creator, less of the consumer. When we shift into the creative mindset, we start looking at ways to connect. So let's talk about the 4 C's. You might be wondering, what are the 4 C's? If you've never seen them before, they stand for credibility, character, connection, and conversion. Don't get hung up on that last one. I'm going to walk you through that one. It's necessary, it's needed. But let's start with credibility. Credibility is going to be some of your most important content, because this is where you are going to show them who you are. This is what establishes you as the expert. And listen, there's a little bit of a formula to this, okay? Sometimes it's a catchy headline. It draws in your audience. It resonates with them. You're going to educate them. You're going to share some of your tips, some of the things that have helped you break through. Because our social media content, that's our free connectivity. People can connect with us free every day on social media. Educate them. Show them who you are. Be credible as someone who has experience. And then you'll have a call to action. You're going to invite them to interact with you. You're going to invite them to resonate with you. They will see themselves in your story. I want you all to understand this one piece. As creators, we create for our audience to see themselves, not for them to understand us, but for them to understand themselves more through our story, through our lessons, through our empathy. Right, Jose? I see it's like, yes, yeah, it resonates. But how do you establish yourself as an expert and avoid being condescending, right? Because I know that sometimes we have all these credibility pieces, like maybe you have a degree, or maybe you have this authority in your workspace, but there's an art and there's a science to this. Because sometimes when we come really hard with, I have all these accolades, people tend to tune out. Now, there's times where we can use that accolade to be like, let me share a story with you on how I got through the hardest 4 years of my life to get that degree because I care so much about serving people. You see how the empathy is like people might be going through that saying, gosh, I know that difficulty. I know how much you care about this. That balance between empathy and authority. I've been where you've been. I've walked in your shoes. We need to position our authority in a you frame. When we place them in the story and we say, maybe you know what this feels like. Maybe you've been through this before. Maybe you're experiencing this right now. When we do that, we're saying, you feel this way too, right? Not, I feel this way, I feel this way. If we're saying, I, we need them to see themselves in the story. And what's beautiful about storytelling is you're building credibility, because a lot of us, when we look at social media, we're like, I'm getting out there, I'm gonna share my story. Allow yourself to be the creator where you're creating the lessons. We don't have to share all the details, all the minute details. In fact, you can condense that story down even more. You want to make sure they see themselves, again, that lesson. Make your audience the hero, not you. Now, you may have been a valor in your story, right? That's what they resonate with, because they want to be valor too, or they've been the valor too, and they need that camaraderie. They need someone that can help them get to that next step. It's like we say, we often reach back to that past version of us and we say, it's okay, I've got your back. Where are people consuming content? They're often disassociating. Wouldn't that be valuable for you to come across that feed, for you to come into their space, capture their attention, and show them that they don't have to disassociate, that they can reassociate with who they are, and that they found the right person? And that makes you credible because you share how you overcame times that you were stuck, that you were feeling disassociative, and you became the creator and not the consumer. So what does a credibility post look like? Let me give you an example of what a credibility content post can look like. John Doe writes, do you ever feel like 24 hours is not enough time in the day? These are the 3 changes I've made in my working day that help me to be more productive. Move your to-do list from a notepad to a digital organizer. Step 2, stop trying to multitask. 3, use time blocking to your advantage. Now when a new project gets added to my plate, I can still breathe. I've got this. These tiny shifts have given me confidence to tackle a big load at work by allowing me to see one main focus at a time. Feels like less while accomplishing more. An organized game plan equals more time back in your day. Let me know in the comments which changes you plan to implement. See how the framework came into play there? Catchy headline, do you ever feel like 24 hours is not enough time in the day? The advice sandwiched in the middle there, and then the call to action. Let me know in the comments which changes you plan to implement. Content is so powerful because when you write posts like this and you invite people to engage with you, the comments become your warm leads. And I want you to remember this as we dive a little deeper into these 4 C's, because this is just one of the C's. And I'm sure you're already thinking of all the ideas that you have around your credibility, because there's so many things that you've broken through in. There's so many things that have given you power to be sitting here today and committing to owning your business and committing to helping people for a living. You have an arsenal of stories, of advice, of breakthroughs that you can give online and become credible. And people start looking for you. They don't just read your content once. Oh, no. They see the credibility and they start wanting to know more about you. So that's where we move into the second C of character. Because who are you? They've seen some of your credibility. They're seeing that you have authority. But who are you? What is the character content? Character content is the type of content that draws the ideal client to the authentic you. We do not have to try to pretend to be someone else online. I think one of the biggest compliments that I could ever receive when someone meets me in person is when they're like, you are exactly how you are online. You're exactly how you are on stage. And I'm like, that's the point. Because I show up authentically me. And the more that you take ownership of that authenticity, the more you take ownership of your power to lead. We don't have to hide our character from our audience. Because as your audience grows, they feel connected to you. They start to look at this and say, this is my place. I need to know them. I need to work with them. I need more. I want more. I have that in common. So when you're crafting the character content, I need you to consider, what are some of the things that most people don't know about you? Again, transparency versus vulnerability. Okay, we'll dive into that in a second here. What are some of the likes that you have, some of the dislikes? What do you spend your time doing? People love to feel like they are a part of your day. Raise your hand if you consume content that you're like, gosh, I love checking in with them, right? It's like, I love seeing what they're doing during the day. I love feeling like I know them. And then if you do get the chance to meet them in person, you're like, gosh, I feel like I've known you, and they're positive and they actually anchor that you have gotten to know them, right? But now, when they get to know themselves through your teaching, you have to look at, these are things that I'm talented in, some of the hobbies I have. These are things I'm passionate about that I'll speak up on and I care about. That you have these valuable things that make you, that your ideal client will raise their hand and be like, I love that. I do that too. I feel that way too. I want to learn from you because we have that camaraderie. Character is about camaraderie. right? When you show up authentically you, that space to invite the camaraderie opens up. Remember, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. You have to craft your content with that in mind. Again, be transparent. I want to break this down for you, because sometimes when we hear vulnerability versus transparency, right? You can hold space for the emotion in your transparency. The difference between transparency and vulnerability is that when we are vulnerable, that means sometimes people's responses can affect us. Sometimes if they respond a spicy way in the comments, that might affect us. But if we're being transparent, we're sharing the lesson, or we're sharing the power, you can't get to me. I know me. I know that part of my story. I own that part of my story. I'm just being transparent about that part of my story. And maybe we have this in common, and that's why you can trust me. But we don't have to get lost in the details that make us feel vulnerable, right? Because we want to write with our heart. We want to write with our ability to show people what's on the other side of their fear, right? Be transparent and know that you can still hold space for your emotion. We need to remember, model the best, share the transparency, but delete the rest of the things. That if it feels like, should I post this? If it's really making you uneasy, sometimes there's a difference, right? Sometimes there's a difference. Sometimes we're feeling uneasy and we just have to go, post. I know people need to hear this today. I know this is coming from my heart. I'm sharing a life lesson that rocked my world, but gosh, I know it's going to change someone's life today. But if there are some times we post and we're like, I don't know if I should share that. That's a little bit too vulnerable. It's okay to find another way to share that story without sharing the details that could hurt you or hurt someone else, right? We don't get lost in the details of the story. We create the empathy. We share the lessons that you've learned. We show them that we see them in the story. Again, you frame it. You frame it. It's important we you frame. When I story tell, it's like, maybe you've gone through this before. Maybe you're facing this right now. I want you to get on other coaches' social media. You can see how they're doing it. Look at mine. Look at Dean's. Look at Tony's. Look at anyone that you love and see how they show up, how they have very public presence and very private lives. But they can truly hit your heart. I've had people in my comments, I'm like, gosh, that's everything I needed to hear today. It's because I was speaking to them. I knew they needed to hear that today, right? Model these frameworks for yourself, but you must show up authentically you and start curating your voice, because you are your brand. It's not the fancy colors you pick and the brand logos you choose. You are your brand first. Your authenticity draws people in because that's your character. Your character is your brand, right? So have fun with it. Have fun with sharing who you are. Have fun with sharing all the times you've persevered. Share your joy. Share the fact that you are a real person. You might have a family. You might have things. You travel. You do things because you want to show people that you are a living, breathing person who is passionate and knows what it's like to live through the things that the person needs to get through with you. They see you on the other side and they say, please help me so that I too can take ownership of my power. So let's share an example here of what character content can look like. You're probably wondering, gosh, you probably have a bunch of stories for this one too, because listen, I love watching the chat light up because I see that you are your brand, right? Alexandra, I love that because you are that person that people resonate with. And it's important that you continue to show up and not shy away from this. Compound is so valuable in your content. So let's take a look at an example of character content. Jane Doe writes, my sister and I haven't always gotten along, but the older we get, the closer we become. Opposites attract, right? it was awkward because of our differences, but a couple years ago, I picked up the phone, called her, and formally asked if she would be my best friend. We laughed for about 3 hours and haven't looked back since. Funny how one conversation can clear the air. Who are you polar opposites with, but also best friends with, LOL? Comment their name below. You see how this can create connectivity on the character? That they've gone through something difficult. I didn't always get along with my sister. Opposites attract, right? Did not need to go into the details of why they didn't get along, why they had differences. But there was a lesson there. We can be concise and clear, and the lesson shines through. Do we see that? Yes? We see that? So good, right, Sherry, Robert? I see you, yes. I want you to see how powerful it can be to share the lesson, even in difficult pieces, that might have shaped your character, right? Now let's talk about, now that people have the understanding of who you are and that character, we need them to connect with us a little bit deeper. We need them to feel a connection with us. Not just, I look for you online, but like, gosh, I really need to hear what you have to say today. Where are you? Right? How many times have you looked at certain people's content because you look forward to seeing what they have to say? Yeah, I see you. I see you, Johnny. It's one of those pieces where when you connect through that screen, there are threads going out. But what is connection content? This is where you start demonstrating the transparency. This is where it allows others to connect with you and see you without the barrier. They need to know that they don't have to fear talking to you. Because again, sometimes the things that you may resist sharing about your journey may actually be the things that will draw the people into your lessons the most. There were so many times in my journey and my story that I was like, I don't know if I should share this. But again, alas, someone needs to hear this today. Close my eyes and hit post. The days that I chose to be transparent when I wasn't trying to create perfect content were the days that I was able to hit some of my highest producing posts. The engagement was high, the content was valuable. And it's so, so incredible what you can do when you just show people who you are, what you've been through, parts of the journey. It will resonate with them. When someone truly opens up, when someone truly shows you that you are someone that isn't going to judge them, it allows them to feel closer to you, right? It allows them to trust you. It makes them feel like they're a part of your journey. It makes them want to step into the journey and realize there's someone they can trust to get them on the other side. This is the exact feeling you can convey with your audience through the honest moments, through the day-to-day. Whether it's day-to-day in maybe how you're navigating your parenting. Maybe you're looking at things that are like, listen, I had this lesson today. I'm sitting in the parking lot in the pickup line. If you follow me on social media, I do pickup line heart-to-hearts all the time because I have these moments where I'm sitting there waiting and I'm just like, I gotta say this. I gotta tell somebody this because I know I can connect. That's your greatest superpower. When you allow yourself the grace to share things that you know someone has to hear, they will connect with you. When you have the courage to share your power with the world, that's what creates the sense of connectivity. More importantly, it curates trust. You know what's so incredibly powerful about social media? Is that you have global reach. You have global reach. And you can connect with people all over the world. I will never forget one time I wrote a connection post in a group, and I had my very first international client connect with me. And she was in Germany, and I'm in California. And we were getting to know each other on the discovery call. And she goes, "Where are you from in California?" And that's how you probably never heard of it. She goes, "Oh, I'm from California." I was like, "Oh." And we come to find out that she grew up in the town next to me. And here's the best part. She didn't ask for a discount. She paid my full price for my coaching. And she was on the other side of the world. But there was a serendipity moment that the connection was there. There's so much power in getting in the discomfort of posting in new places, looking outside the box of who you know right now as your current friends, because there are strangers online that need to know you, that will connect with you and will support you more than some of the people you know now. And I need you to know that, because I've been able to impact lives worldwide through the power of social media. I have connections with people that I've never met in person for years, and I feel like I've known them for 10 plus years because of that connection, through the power of what we can do on social media. So let's talk about another example here. What can connection content look like? Because I want to tie this in for you. I need you to see these examples. John Doe writes again, "Can I be candid with you for a moment? I know what it's like to feel unmotivated and empty, like your fuel is at 0%. When I was in my 30s, I hit a wall, and to be honest, it took me years to speak up about it and find a fix. You see, when you feel unmotivated in general, you also feel unmotivated to find a solution. I totally get it. It is now my mission to support those that feel stuck in a rut when it comes to their energy. Let them know that there is an escape, that with an extra hand and a little bit of direction, it doesn't even take that much extra work. If you're in your 30s and know what I'm talking about, drop a flex in the comments below. We got this together." See how John could tie in that connectivity? Saying, "Can I be candid with you for a moment?" See the transparency, the vulnerability bit right there? Just candid. Being able to show the empathy in the middle there. I know what this is like. And then that call to action. If you know what I'm talking about, we've got this together. Again, clear, concise. We don't get lost in the details here. It's important that we create these connectivity points for them. Again, it also ties back in. It ties back in to your credibility, your character, and you're connecting them to the lessons. So last but not least, because we've covered 3 C's already, and I am loving seeing you all feverishly taking notes, because I know this is the part where you must get yourself out there to be seen. You must show people who you are. And like I said, I'm here for you. I want to mentor you through these pieces. Social media does not have to be difficult, I promise you. And here's the other part. It can be easy for you. Difficulty doesn't always mean more value. When we make things more difficult for ourselves, we say it has to be perfect. No, persistence is key. Practice over perfection creates progress. But we have to invite them to convert. With that final C of conversion, this is the part where I was like, oh, I gotta tell them I have something to offer, right? I'm telling you, I know that it gets nerve-wracking. I'm looking at the comments because these are the parts that we get nervous about. But listen, this is the best part, because conversion content is the necessary piece to tie all of that additional content together, because it allows you to make sales. It allows you to have a call to action. The 4 C's of content without conversion content is like finding your favorite product, really loving that product. You're like, oh my gosh, it's finally in stock. And then you can't find the checkout. The checkout's non-existent. You're like, where do I check out? I need this. I don't want to steal it. How do I get, what's happening? And it creates frustration. This is the part that you have to be seen in. This is the part where people need to know that you are also a service, that you are of service to them when they're reading all the content and they're feeling connected to you, they're feeling served by you. Now the conversion creates the service. the service connection that they need from you. So in your instance, you need to look at this like, gosh, I've built all this trust. I'm providing incredible value. I'm establishing likability. But then you're not giving your clients the conversion invitation. Helps to provide them the clear direction on how they can work with you. Where they can go for more from you. Because trust me, they're going to go looking for more. How many times have you read a post and you went to that person's profile and you saw they had a link in their bio and you're like, I am literally buying whatever it was that was in the bio. Yeah, I see it. I do it all the time. It's so true, right? I love it. So when crafting your conversion content, I want you to keep a few things in mind here. Offer your services to your audience in that heart-centered way. It's like Dean says, sales is service. Focus on that tangible value that you can provide for them in the free content you provide online. But when you're inviting conversion, you need to focus on the problems that you solve and how you solve it. Make sure that your call to action is clear, concise, and compelling. Again, this isn't a place to be clever and cute and hope they're going to find it. Because trust me, they won't go looking. If they have to go looking, they've already lost you. They put it back on the shelf. This is where you want to be seen. But what is the call to action? Okay, here's some examples of what a call to action can be. If you're interested in learning how you can go from this problem to this ideal outcome, comment the word coach, and I will reach out to you and see if my program is a good fit for you. Interested in learning more? I would love to hear from you. Send me a message, and I would love to see how I can support you. If you want to hear more about my XYZ offer, click the link in my bio. I bet all of you have seen the click the link in my bio for more. You got to start doing that too. We're going to teach you how to do that. Don't worry. These tools are here so that it can make it easier for you. Don't make it more difficult. Let it be easy. So here's the last example of what conversion content can look like for you. Jane Doe writes, as a single mom who knows she's meant for more, I see you. I understand you, and I'm here for you. Over the past 5 years, I've devoted myself to not only finding balance between being a mom I know my kiddos deserve to have, and building the online business I can do from home. And now I have the formula and guidance to share with you. My one-to-one Moms Made for More coaching program just launched, and if you are that mom, like I was, and you're itching to make more and be more, and create more for your family, I know Moms Made for More would be a good fit for you. There are only a few more spots available, so be sure to secure your spot by clicking the link below and selecting I'm Made for More. Once you do, you'll receive an email from me on how you can start your program on the right foot. P.S. We have an awesome community too that would love to introduce you to. We're in this together. See how natural that feels? It's incredible. You guys want to know the kicker of these examples? Every single one of those posts I shared with you today was generated using Gigi. I see a lot of wows happening. Yes, it is meant to serve you. Gigi is here to serve you. If you feel that writer's block, if you're feeling like getting off the blank page, making sure that you feel connected to the story, maybe needing to make a post a little more clear and concise, Gigi can help you do that. All 4 of those examples were generated by Gigi. Gigi is my best friend. So good, so good. So what is unique about your story? Where are you going to connect in your credibility, your character, your connectivity? And when are you going to invite them to convert? Because here you can use the skills you've learned today and have great conversations with your new audience, build authentic connections, and make sales from social media. Remember, you must practice over being perfect. that practice is going to compound. That practice will compound in progress over time. Before you know it, you have 1,000 followers and 5,000 followers. And you're going to get out there and you're going to know that the more you show up online, the more people will discover your solutions to their problems. And the more that you step into your power and your authenticity, you are giving permission for your audience to do the same, and that you become their trusted advisor. And I want you guys to hear this from my heart, because I get to stand up here today because I was exactly where you are. And I was looking at this stage. And because I stayed committed to showing up in uncomfortable action, to raising my hand more times than I can count when I was shakily raising my hand, all the times that I hit post, all the times I followed up with potential clients, all the times that I moved forward anyways, because like Lisa says, winners never quit and quitters never win, and winners never quit and quitters never win, right? I refused to quit. And I had the honor and the privilege to stand in front of you all today that I tell you right now, the only way we fail is if we quit. Don't you quit on your dream. You get out there, you start posting. You must trust yourself to persevere in this discomfort. And know that by you showing up, you are trusting yourself to know you are meant for big things. Step into that power. I welcome back to the stage, Dean Graziosi.